The Leadership Fellows Program at the Borough of Manhattan Community College is based on the premise that in order to be an effective leader, one has to be taken out of their comfort zone and has to understand their relationship, not only their relationship within the organization, but also to their peers, their superiors, their peers, and the people below them. This is now the second cohort that we've run for the BMCC Leadership Program, and this is by far perhaps the most engaged and the most successful group that we've had to date. It's a group that was not selected individually by deans or by directors, but rather by the executive cabinet. This was a 3-month process in which we vetted nearly 260 applicants, and we came up with a list of 15 applicants that we thought fit the profile of what we considered were the future leaders of BMCC. These are individuals that in many ways are not only highly intelligent in terms of their academic preparation, but they bring to the job a certain maturity and a certain humility that makes them unique among their peers. And it's those qualities that we think will distinguish this group from all of the other groups that we've seen on campus in terms of training.
When we think about the fellows, the Leadership Fellows program, we are thinking about creating a community of leaders that can really help the institution to succeed. And when we connect that to what happens with students, we are connecting within BMCC the various departments that can help that student to succeed. And what I mean by that is, as an academic advisor, that is part of what I do. But the student will not be successful if I cannot make these connections within financial aid, within the registrar's office, within the admissions office, within the study abroad department, and so on and so forth, as it takes an entire community to help that student to succeed. And within the Leadership Fellows program, you find that this community exists. And we are now, we are able to connect the dots with how we can succeed as an institution. But if we take that down to the student, how can we, sitting in this room, create the policies and procedures to help these students to succeed? And how can we take that to the senior administrators as they are going to make that final decision? So within this cohort of fellows, we are getting the opportunity to connect with each other and to identify how we can help the student as well. And of course, largely creating that community so that as senior administrators, we can make those decisions.
Well, today we talked about our specific roles in terms of how we could be effective in promoting change within BMCC. And I think that in looking at our different roles within different departments, as well as giving some serious thought to our future careers within the college, our future positions within the college, that always keeping in mind how that movement can help students improve their own situations.
I think it's important for college presidents and leaders, or even senior administrators, to think globally about, trends in higher education, because everything that we do affects a global community. We are in the classrooms teaching our students to think globally about their career aspirations and changing the world and, leaving their stamp out there. And I think that if we don't practice what we preach, it's kind of hard for them to conceptualize that. I also feel that there are a lot of changes in higher education that are happening internationally that affect us at home. Having a large international population on campus, it does by nature bring a whole different perspective to the classroom environment. And I think university leaders need to be aware of those global perspectives. As Antoinette was mentioning earlier, the college population for community colleges has changed. It used to be more non-traditional adult learners, and now we have a very traditional college population. And looking globally at students that same age, we have students in Hong Kong initiating these huge social protests, and that is inspiring students at our campuses to do kind of the same thing and to become these agents of change. And I think it's very important for college leaders to understand that and be able to, lead effectively to prepare our next generation of students to be good global leaders and be good communicators and be good, agents of change.
Today we met with a person from NYU, Lauren Wright, and one of the greatest things that I took away from this session is for us to envision visualize our future goals. I think every fellow in the room is a current mid-level leader, aspiring to be at the largest scale change maker in the future, you know, within the next 5 years. So one of the biggest takeaway from today's session is really for us to be able to envision that and to create a path for us as the leaders to make that happen in the near future.
What motivated me to participate in this program is, first, I had the opportunity to discuss topics that were not necessarily in my background, such as project management, innovation, human capital management, and for me that was really gave me great insight, and it also helped me prepare to be a leader or take on leadership roles. I also appreciated the fact that I was able to participate in a group project that has an impact on the organization. I find that in my current position, I'm pretty much problem solving on one-to-one basis of different issues, but I never get an opportunity to really extend myself and be a part of the organization in a meaningful way. So to talk about student engagement and work with other colleagues, I think is a great aspect to this program and what really motivated me. And I would say the last piece of it is actually being able to interact with my colleagues in a different way and to learn more about them and what they do. And again, typically in my role in the organization, I have a limited interaction with the people sitting around me, and this is the first time I'm actually in a team setting, interacting, knowing them, and getting a chance to work on a project. So I felt like learning new skills, discussing new topics, being able to work on a project, and then also being able to interact with colleagues was really a good selling point to why I wanted to participate in the leadership program.
What appealed to me about this program is that, number one, it showed me that the college was very serious about its succession planning and about developing the people in the college. So I found that to be a very positive thing about the college. And then secondly, I appreciated this program because I appreciated that it was a nice recognition of my value to the college and my potential value to the college in the future, and that it was a good structured opportunity for us to develop our skills and to be able to, you know, take up future leadership positions in the college. And the third thing, which some of the other people have also touched on, is that it is a good opportunity to develop a cohort. And should at least some of us continue in the college, I think if we are the leaders in 5, 10, 15 years, then we will already have established a very strong working relationship, and we can do great things for the college.
My biggest takeaway from today's session is a reminder, and it was just screaming at me as I heard it being said, not to limit your sights. And that even though sometimes you may think that you don't have every single thing that fits that bill, that should not stop you from pursuing that next opportunity, whatever that may be. And I think that's something that quite a few of us related to at today's session in particular.
The other 15 colleagues that are here with me, they come from different parts of BMCC. And so I've gotten a chance to really understand the work of some of my other colleagues and what it takes for them to do the work that they're doing, their skill level, their commitment, their their knowledge base, and their commitment to the work at BMCC and to our students. So it sort of broadens my view and my perspective of what it is that our senior managers are looking at when they look at middle managers and when they look at identifying those of us who may very well want to continue to contribute in a very meaningful way to the growth and to the continued survival and good work that's going on at BMCC.
There are, to my knowledge, there is no other program like this in the country. As I've said before, there are other leadership training programs that focus on management skills. There are others that focus on programs as they relate to strategic planning. But one of the things that President Perez and the Cabinet made very clear to the individuals that were selected for this program, is that this was not management training, this was leadership training. And it was getting them to think globally, getting them to think strategically, getting to understand the big picture and understanding what the mission of the college is and how what they do impacts that mission and impacts what we do over the next couple of years. It's unique in a sense that it's embedded in the strategic planning process that we have here at the college, and it's unique in a sense that we have been very selective in the process in which we select, in which we identify our candidates. This was not a process where people volunteered to join the program. This was not an open search. It was not an open casting call, as we say. This was done by invitation. Every dean was given a list of potential candidates. They weighed the merits of those individuals, and they were invited by the cabinet to apply for the program. So it was not open to the entire college community. And as I said before, what distinguishes this group from all the others is the understanding that they are unique in terms of their academic preparation, but most importantly because of their maturity, what they bring to the job and their experiences at the college.